Hello everyone, welcome back here on Ziki Media, and I'm back with some trending current affairs stories coming from different places. Today we are going to be looking at South Africa, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and a bit of China. Now let's get straight into it, and if you are new to the channel, please subscribe, comment, like the videos. Thank you for your support. Now straight into it. South African elections are coming very, very fast, and we have seen the EFF, the ANC, they are all out there, garnering for support. Now, we know that South Africa also has the diaspora vote, meaning people can vote from outside of South Africa, unlike countries like Zimbabwe who do not have the diaspora vote. So, the South African embassy in China has announced that voting for those who have registered to vote in China is going to be on the 18th of May. Okay, it's going to be on a Saturday. 18th of May 2024 is a Saturday. They said the IEC said, well, voting should be done on a Saturday for convenience sake. All right, assuming that few people work on weekends, so that is the why they decided to choose the date of Saturday, the 18th of May. It's going to start from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And also they said, IEC said, it's going only to be one day. So it's only one day of voting on the 18th of May 2024. For those of you who are in the diaspora, I'm just talking in particular to China. I'm not quite sure about other places, okay? And also, I've already shared this with my followers in China. I got a lot of followers in China, so I also share on my different platforms here in China. All right. Now, moving forward, still on South Africa, we know that the issue of visas in South Africa is still something that is spoken about, even though we are seeing them extending, visas are expiring this day, visas are expiring this day. But again, I came across some news here which is saying that South Africa is struggling with the backlog of temporary residence visas. Okay, so they're saying, well, they are trying to make sure that they meet and service all these backlog that they have. However, they noted that most of these applications have got something to do with relationship visas, to which they say it's a cause for concern because it seems like many people are applying for spousal visas in different categories. There are also some kind of visas that is called the cohabitation visa, whereby two people are not legally married, but they're staying together, and then they go to the Commission of Oath to sign an affidavit that, well, we are living together and it is confirmed, and they get a letter from the Commission of Oath, and they take that paper to the immigration as proof that they are cohabitating. So there's a kind of visa that you get for cohabitation. They said, so this is another issue again. And the South African immigration will say, well, it proves to be very difficult for you to tell, if this is a lie or not, because they have to investigate a lot. So it's kind of very, very difficult because there is no legal paper here. The only thing that they have is the Commissioner of Oath. And they also spoke about marriages of convenience, which are now very, very plenty in South Africa. They're saying, well, South African women are getting paid to be married to foreigners. Therefore, the foreigner, they will then apply for spousal visa. Again, they're saying it's difficult again to ascertain whether it's false or it's true, because usually when they come for these marriages, they are real marriages that they are done, that people do. However, whether they're in love or not, it's something else altogether. And they're saying they've got shortages of, investigating officers or immigration officers who can actually do thorough investigation. So they said those are some of the challenges that they are facing. There are plenty of sham marriages, of fake marriages being registered in the South African immigration there. They say, so this is why they've got a number of backlog when it comes to that. Also, there's an issue of, children who are also born in South Africa, and then the parents also need to be attached to those kind of visas. So I said, well, these are some of the problems that they are facing. They said, however, they are trying to, to solve the problem. So according to the Sunday Times, they said there were about 95,000 visa applications that have not yet been, processed, these temporary residence visa applications, okay? They say this is according to a memo that was leaked, and it was seen by different, media houses there in South Africa. Like I said, in terms of, fake convenient marriages of convenient, whereby they pay money, they get the documents, and residence is granted, and after granting the residence, then someone goes and stay in their own places, okay? They said, well, because of this, they are having problems of deciding which one is real and which one is fake. Okay, so this is, of course, coming from South Africa. You know, the issue of visas in South Africa has always been a talking point, different aspects there that we see regarding to that. Now, moving again forward to Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe has been trending again in the news, in the past few days after the United States announced the lifting of some parts of sanctions and also the addition of other sanctions. There has been confusion there because some people were thinking, well, all the sanctions have been removed, because I came across some other quarters who actually say, well, finally, the sanctions have been removed. But then they came those ones who are the analysts, those ones who can analyze and read and understand what is being said. They came and said, well, some aspects of the, of sanctions that were imposed, the executive order that were given in 2003, that the ones that were removed, and then they put in new ones. And also we saw about 11 authorities from Zimbabwe being put on sanctions, including the president himself, President E.G. Mnangagwa, also among those who have been put on the sanction list, and some other 3 entities to make them 14. Those are some of the things that have been trending again on different social media platforms in Zimbabwe this week. All right, now moving away from Zimbabwe, let's go straight to Amakwelane. That is our neighbors in Zambia. Okay, now Zambia, like every southern area here, we are facing drought in our region. So many governments are trying to look at what are they going to do in order for them to make sure that the people don't die of hunger during this dry spell that the region is facing. So Zambia, they came out here. First of all, Zambia received about $1.6 billion from Afrexim Bank. That is the African Export-Import Bank. Okay, they received about $1.6 billion, and this was announced by President of Zambia, that is Hakainde Hichilema himself. He came to social media to say, well, we have received 1.6 billion and we are going to use this money in different areas that need, especially of humanitarian, because of the humanitarian crisis in Zambia in terms of hunger. He said, well, this money is going to come a long way, and it came at a very opportune time. Okay, earlier on, President Hakainde Hichilema had come out to declare a national disaster and emergency in terms of the dry spell that is, that Zambia is facing. Okay, he had declared a national disaster and emergency. Therefore, they said when he received this money, now he said, well, at least the money came just on time after they had announced this, national disaster that they've announced. Okay, we've also seen some videos circulating where they've already packaged some, yellow meal. We not, kuZimbabwe tinoiti Kenya, sadza Kenya, ufu Kenya, ufu yellow, right? Yes. So we saw that on that video, circulating, saying that Zambia is already preparing for that. But of course, there's some lots of critics when it comes to Zambian issue. Others saying, well, the drought that the country is facing is because of the poor planning in terms of agriculture activities and everything. It's always like that most of the time. So yeah, this announcement, like I said, was given by President Hakainde Hichilema himself, who said, well, the 1.6 billion is going to go towards more resources to humanitarian and food security and import of additional electricity and rationing of energy. And they also say they're going to do additional maize, buying additional maize, all right? So we move again, still in Zambia. We know the issue of COVID-19. COVID-19 came and caused havoc, and no one wants anything to do with the COVID-19. However, in Zambia, there's a report that says about 140 students tested positive for COVID-19 this week. They are from 3 different secondary schools, including a high school, a girls' high school called Kapiri Mposhi Girls' High School, where 64 students contracted the virus, and also Chisamba Boarding School, where 59 students, and another secondary school also that is also some cases of COVID-19. They say some of the kids have already, were admitted and they've already been released from hospital. They are recuperating, at home. But yeah, COVID-19, no one wants to hear about it, and no one even wants to talk about COVID-19. It's something that we don't want to hear about, considering the way people suffered because of that. Anyway, let's move forward again, still in Zambia. Okay, we have a lot of things coming out of Zambia. Starlink, okay? Starlink. We know that in Zimbabwe, Starlink is banned, and the Zimbabwean government is say they are going to crack porters say they're going to crack on anyone, any dealers or agents or individuals or businesses who are using Starlink. And then you might ask, what is Starlink? Well, Starlink is an internet service that is provided by SpaceX, that is owned by Elon Musk. So Zimbabwe has not yet obtained the license to have it, but of course we know people will have access to it. We saw recently that there's a Chinese miner who was fined 700 US dollars after they've been found to have a modem and a router for Starlink that they were using. Okay, so it has been a talk and a talk and a talk about that issue of Starlink, and also in some news that has been trending in some form that has been said, it also say that, well, the broadcaster also acquired Starlink. That story, I wouldn't talk about it because I don't have much information about it. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at that. So, however, in Zambia now, about 156 constituencies were, given Starlink routers and Starlink kits, rather, for their constituents. About 156 of them, different constituencies in Zambia, they were given so that they can, help to communicate better with their people. I mean, Zambia is among the 6 countries that are using Starlink. Okay, I think by now there are even more than 6, but Zambia was one of those 6 countries, that introduced the Starlink in their country. So now the government is also using it, for legislature, and Zambia also has is what is called an application, an e-government application, which they say, well, because the e-government application requires the use of strong internet, therefore Starlink is the only way to go. Okay, so this is Zambia here, contrary to Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is not allowed. You get arrested. They are cracking down. They say they are going to be doing it thoroughly. If anyone is found with with that one, Starlink, then they're going to be in some kind of problems, like we have already seen someone being fined and arrested there. But in Zambia, they're using it. Kenya, Mozambique, Nigeria, Malawi, those ones already have Starlink. Okay, they're already using it. Of course, Starlink is from SpaceX, that is owned by none other than Elon Musk himself. Now, going back to Zimbabwe, I had left a piece of news here where we saw the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation CEO resigning. And after she resigned, there's been a lot of talk around why she resigned and all this kind of stuff. But then there were some reports again that was circulating that she took herself to LinkedIn, where she laid out everything, the reasons why she had to leave. Initially, she was suspended and she went on to resign by herself, okay? And then she came out, laying allegations, including, those of sexual harassment and also some other issues with the rival at work and many things that she laid out there. But of course, yes, she is out now. She's no longer, the CEO of ZBC. So these are some of the trending stories that we are having today from different social media platforms that we're having in all of the news, okay? And also, still on trending stories, I came across some very very disturbing story from Zimbabwe where a man and a girlfriend connived to unalive the wife and the kids. So they set them alight in the house. Fortunately for the wife and kids, when the fire broke out, the neighbors and others around, they were able to take the children out and take the wife out. Only, they sustained the burns and everything, but they are alive. However, the husband and the girlfriend are now being sought by the police. I'm not quite sure right now if they've been arrested, but as of yesterday, when I got the news, they've not yet been captured, right? And this girlfriend happens to be someone who is popular on social media. He's a makeup artist who's very well known on social media there, and therefore they're being sought, for that thing of wanting to kill the wife. And people are asking, if you no longer love someone, why don't you just tell the wife to leave, just to divorce and leave someone alive? But for you to plan to kill your children because of what? It becomes something else. So these are some of the things that are trending. My name is Ziki, and if I mean ask you for a favor, please react to our videos, comment and everything. And I'll tell you this, we've been having some kind of problem with our videos because YouTube for some reason they are not recognizing our new niche. Therefore, this channel has been on a ban, a little bit shadow ban. So watching this video, commenting anything, and liking will help the channel to gain its boost one more time. So I'm really counting on you guys to do me this favor so that the channel can be revived again. My name is Ziki, and I'm going to be back again with more stories just about now. We do have some more stories coming from China, so we decided not to mix the news so that we can, separate them and you have the opportunity to watch all of it. Until then, take care.